Hey y'all, it's your girl Akia Tiani. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be recreating the Dior dress as seen on Zendaya. I originally picked up this really pretty sage pleated fabric from Walmart. It was $8 for 3 yards, which was literally unbeatable. And I picked it up for something completely different, but when I saw those pictures drop, I knew it was game over. Like, I knew I had to give it a shot at recreating. So I'm not using a pattern, that's the best part. We're just gonna need a few simple measurements. You're also gonna need, of course, your fabric. A pleated fabric is gonna be preferable just to match the look. You're gonna need your matching thread, your scissors, a measuring tape, and your choice of machine, whether serger or sewing machine. So if you are interested in seeing how we recreate the Dior dress, stay tuned. So you will need 3 measurements, 3 simple measurements: your waist to the floor, and then from your waist around to the back. So let me show you. You're gonna take your waist measurement, write that down. Then you are going to take from where your waist measurement is, or wherever you choose, take the tape and bring it around to the back in that same place. That is going to give you the measurement for the top portion of the dress. Write that down. Then you want to take from your waist and drop the tape all the way to the floor, and that'll get you your waist to floor length. That's going to give you your dress length. In addition to the measurements for the dress, we are also going to cut out 2 really long strips. We're going to get them as long as you can, and I'm thinking about 2 inches wide. So let's go ahead and cut out our fabric. Okay, so I'm starting with my fabric opened out. I'm cutting out my strips for the width of my fabric. I would cut them out for the length of your yardage. That way it's just as long as possible. And I know I said 2, and I'm also only cutting out 2, but I would cut out 4 because I later had to cut my 2 in half. So just go ahead and cut out 4 strips. So for the top portion, I'm folding my fabric in half because it was 60 inches wide and my measurement was 30. So it was basically perfect. But keep in mind, if your fabric is stretchy, you may want to subtract a couple of inches off of that length. Now for the width, I cut mine out for 10 inches and I ended up pleating it down at the waist. You can divide your waist measurement by 4 and get that. But if you are bustier, I think that you should just pleat it at the waist so that you have some good coverage. So now I'm cutting out the skirt, so you just want to make sure that your fabric is folded out. You're going to cut the length from your waist to the floor, cut that out. And what I did was I cut the waist in the middle and cut out to the corners. So you'll see what I mean. This is just to give the dress a more flared out look versus straight up and down. So I found the midpoint of the fabric and I went out to get my waist. From there, cut out to the corners to give it like a V kind of look. Okay, so your dress is all cut out and you can see kind of what it's going to look like. Now you take it to the machine. So first you're going to start with your dress portion from the waist to the floor, and you're just going to sew down those side seams. For the side, I did just use a regular straight stitch, but you know you want to see what works best for the fabric that you have purchased. Now that the skirt is sewn together, turn it to the right side, and you're going to take those 2 portions that you cut out for the top and you're going to start pinning it. So again, I said I had to pleat mine a little bit at the waist, but you want to make sure you find the middle and make sure that the 2 ends meet in the middle so that your dress is not lopsided. So after you pin it one side, take it and swing it around to the back and pin it to the back. Make sure that you flip it up to make sure that you're pinning it correctly and that it's not twisted and that your seams won't show. So just pin it and flip it up to make sure that everything looks good. Now that you have it all pinned, take that to the machine and sew. So I am using a zigzag stitch. Make sure you test this out with your fabric just to make sure your tension is right. Mine was not. Don't be like me, honey. So make sure you test that out. But I do recommend a zigzag stitch here, just because this is the waist. This is where it's going to stretch a little bit. So you want to make sure you have that movement. Okay, so the base of the dress is almost complete. One thing I did forget, the sleeves are kind of bunched up like this. So we're just gonna hand sew this. So you just sew it so that it's bunched up at the top on the shoulder. Okay, so I've gone ahead and sewn up the tops. Now for the favorite part, the whole reason why I'm doing the dress is to create the harness. Okay, so you're gonna take those 4 strips that you cut out. Remember, cut out 4, don't be like me and originally cut out 2. Cut out 4. We're gonna create 2 ropes with these strips. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do, take 2, tie them together, tie a knot at the end. So I tied the strings to this tripod. You can tie it to something or put a weight down on it, but you're just going to twist down to create the rope. Make sure that as you're twisting down, you pull up to make sure it's tight enough, but you're just going to twist it down. All right, so you're gonna take your rope and you're going to tie it around the neck. So just make sure that you have enough to tie around the neck, but you don't want to use too much. So I'm gonna hold it right there because that's about where I need it. And this is where I'm going to start the first crisscross. So I'm just gonna put a pin there and tie this in the back. So I don't have the picture of the dress right in front of me, but you should, so that you know. I'm gonna have to kind of go back and forth. But I do know that the first piece starts with the ropes are intertwined together, and then it stops about midpoint like that. We'll do it down just a little bit more. So we want to put a pin here. Everywhere I'm putting a pin, I'm actually gonna sew it. Just hand sew it just to tack it together. That way the harness maintains a little bit of integrity as you're taking it on and off. Okay, so we have that, and then it comes right around the bust, around the back, and then there's we'll pull this up kind of to the waist. Then a crisscross down there. All right, now this part is gonna be a little bit different. Well, let's see. Okay, so I'm taking it, I crisscrossed it in the front. This is how it's looking in the back. I'm taking it, let's see, up the side, in through the neck, and I'm gonna bring it, ooh, if it can fit, yeah, I'm gonna bring it and tack it there. Okay, so my rope is stretchy, so I'm hoping that this will fit me and won't be too tight. But my rope, ooh, y'all saw that? Okay, my rope is stretchy, so I'm hopeful. So you just want to tack that so that you can sew it. It's okay if it moves up, but you just know that you want to sew it. And that's actually looking kind of like theirs, just a little bit, not all the way. You know how I go. All right, so we're gonna take this around, bring it through the neck piece and around so that we can sew it here, and we're gonna pin it. Ooh. Okay, all right, so let's take a step back. Oh geez, my rope coming apart, child, my rope coming apart, but that's all right, we work with it. Okay, probably gonna tack this too, and I'm gonna tack it to the middle actually, so that can stay. Let's take a step back and look at it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Make sure it looks even and symmetrical in the back. And again, y'all, this rope is stretchy, so I don't really have big concern with getting in and out of it with tacking it down. So let's start. Voila. So I forgot to film my outro, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see from me in the future. And until next time, thanks for watching.